What's up, guys? Hope you guys are well. I appreciate all the new subscribers. You guys are amazing. I'm definitely thankful for each and every one of you. You guys share a lot with me. You guys appreciate my content. You guys give me feedbacks to allow me to change some things around, to try to incorporate other things. So I definitely have a lot in store for you guys. But for this video, before I start this video, I just wanted to share a few things with you guys. I'm joined by the lovely Khadija for this video, also known as KayPassion, and I appreciate her a lot. She shares her experience with marriage with us, everything before marriage, everything during the course of her marriage, as well as events that led to her divorce. And she also shares her experiences, her journey after divorce, and all her sad moments, her happy moments, and everything that she had to go through. And she also shares some of the lessons that she's learned along the way, that taught her a lot of things. And I appreciate her for that, because this is such a sensitive topic for anyone that has gone through it, and for her to be so strong about it, and for her to be at a point where she's able to share these things, I really appreciate her. I really wanted to make this video to sort of highlight this topic, to start the conversation on this. I know there's a lot of girls out there who have gone through this, who've had negative experiences, and just sometimes hearing someone else's experience and everything that they had to go through, sometimes it makes it easier for someone else who really thinks that they're the only ones going through this, and that they're the only ones who experience that struggle. So I hope this video benefits everyone out there. I hope this video sheds light on this topic. And again, I can't thank Khadija enough, because she really put herself out there. She really shared such a sensitive situation with everyone out there. But yeah, if you guys want to also get in touch with her, she's available for you guys. If you guys just want someone to talk to, if you guys just need a little bit of advice, a little bit of encouragement, she's out there. I will post her links down below, so inshallah you guys can get in touch with her. And if you guys need me, I'm saying I'm always available. And another thing I wanted to hit on is that in the making of this video, the camera sort of dropped on me. It really died on me. But I do have the audio, so I hope you guys can benefit from the audio as much as you guys would have benefited from the video of seeing me. You know what I'm saying? But without further ado, before I go into it, I will be breaking this down into several parts, because it was a long recording, and I don't want to upload the whole thing, because it would take a little while. But I will upload parts of the video until we get to the end, so inshallah be patient. But yeah, without further ado,
I just want to say first, I appreciate so much that I'm honored to be on your channel and on your page. I listen to all your podcasts, mashallah, and I love all the work that you're doing.
appreciate
I'm a
that.
huge fan. I got married in 2016. I was 21 years old, and I left where I lived was in Minnesota, and I moved to Georgia. At the time, my ex-husband was 27 something. He was 27, and we got married. I lived in Georgia for it was hitting the 2-year mark. And we lived with his in-laws. We lived with his parents, which is my in-laws. And everything was nice. Everything was, in the beginning, marriage. It's like, you're married now. And I didn't have the pleasure of having my family there, so that was kind of sad. But I was so blinded by love and getting married and being with somebody and moving out at a young age. And 21 is still a young age. You don't really know the world. You just recently got out of high school, and then you went to college. Probably didn't work out for you. So 21 is still that age where you're trying to figure out everything in life. You don't know.
Oh, for sure.
So,
yeah. And the thing is, on top of that, you actually, you said you lived with your in-laws, so that's even a whole different discussion, and a whole different obstacle to go through
It
at
is.
such a young age.
And I've never met them before.
Hmm.
And I'm going to talk about this like later on too.
Okay.
But I never met them before. And it was a huge, aside from living with them, which was kind of a shocker that came.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I moved there, I always prepare myself for anything.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like things can happen, which is qadr. But I know like I'll do my part in preparing myself. So I went ahead and found a job. I found an apartment, and the
Wow.
person who made the decision at the end was my ex-husband. He was like, "Oh, it'd be better," and then his mother also convinced him. So,
Mm.
and I wasn't really fully on like board with that, but he made a promise within 6 months we'll be out of there and we'll have our own place and stuff like that. And I said, "Okay, I
Mm.
trust you, and I'm clearly married to you,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, for sure.
let's just go ahead and follow your lead."
Mm.
Then living with them was just, it was very uncomfortable for me, to be honest, because they were not Muslim as well. So that was another thing. He was the only Muslim in his family, and I think
Mm.
from his father's side, there's a couple Muslims as well. So it was very uncomfortable for me. And then it was hard for me to reach out to, at the time,
Mm.
I didn't in my head think to reach out to anybody that knows me, like family, friends, because in my head at the time I was thinking everybody cut me off because I made this decision.
Mm.
So what's the point of reaching out to them? Which is not a good thing. Like, don't think that way.
Yeah.
You might think you're like alone and nobody's gonna help you, but just talk to them, no matter how long it takes. And
Mm.
that's one thing I didn't do. I didn't talk to them. So things that in our marriage, there were some things that off the bat that I started disagreeing with,
Yeah.
that he would do. And I grew up culturally different as a Somali woman
Yeah. I was just
and
gonna
from a
ask you that
Somali
because
household.
because you said that he was only Muslim and that is a different like upbringing as opposed to what you're probably used to.
Yeah,
Um, so I'm sure there
there's a
was a
lot
lot
of
of
clashes.
disagreements. Yeah.
Yeah, just little things too, like that we would always argue about. And I would always ask him, okay, like I got a job now, like I can save up some money. We weren't paying bills. His mother wasn't charging me, my mother-in-law.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, let's save up some money. Then he took a lot of hits on my self-confidence. There's little things that he did that I don't want to talk about
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
say.
That's fine.
But it was just constant. That was just like we would always be arguing. There was good days, but there was more bad days.
Mm.
And then I didn't talk about this in any of my videos
Okay.
because at the moment when I uploaded the videos on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
I have had a confidence to talk about a portion of my story
Mm. Mm.
and the part that I thought was important to me to talk about. And I was afraid to talk about other things that also happened
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like I was going to be judged, which is weird because other people just talking about going through domestic violence and a divorce,
Mm-hmm.
they would feel like they're being judged. But I didn't. I was like, I want to talk about this because I don't think I'm going to be judged and I have confidence in talking about it. But when I thought about the other side of the story,
Mm.
of the parts that I left out, I felt ashamed. And I felt now I don't, but at the moment I did. I was like, I don't want to talk about this. This is too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, this is too embarrassing. People are going to talk down on me and stuff like that. So there was a point where I flew back to my parents
Mm-hmm.
because my ex thought I had ill, which is, you know what ill is? Evil eye.
Yeah. Yeah. Evil eye for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He thought I had ill, and that wasn't the case. It was just I had a meltdown. Like I had a complete, like, what is the word that I'm looking for? Um,
Breakdown.
breakdown. Yes, I had a complete breakdown. Like I went
Yeah.
into, I wouldn't eat. I couldn't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I would be in our room all the time. We would be fighting, and I kept telling him I wanted to go back home.
Mm.
And his mother cut a ticket, and she flew us back. She flew me back. Nobody came with me. I came back to my mom. And then my mom and a couple of other family members were asking me to. They were like, "Oh, they're trying to convince me to stay.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really want to stay. And he was always on the phone with me. Not always, but he would be like calling me and talking to me. When are you coming back? This and that, da, da, da. And they were telling me, oh, don't go back. Don't go to him. He finally came home and this and that. And I was like, he's my husband. I was taking it as though I was like, this is my husband. I'm going back to him. You guys can't stop me. And then I would like constantly be crying. I wouldn't be eating. I went through Khurasar, and the sheikh said, there's got to be something else. And then my grandma, we went to go visit my grandma. She said hi to me, but I didn't get out of the car. And she pointed at my legs. And my grandma is, 79 years old now? But at the time, she was like a little younger. Yeah. She looked at me and she was like, Abadan, uri ledhay. She just looked at my leg and she's like, Abadan, uri ledhay.
Wow.
And I didn't hear it, but one of my siblings heard it.
Yeah.
And my mom. Then I flew back to Georgia, and my ex started saying these really disgusting, like really unnecessary comments. He started making these comments, and I was like, this is the last straw. Like, I'm like, in my head, I was like, this is the last straw. Like, you cannot be this disrespectful to me. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm tired. Like, I don't need you doing all this. And we got in an argument again. Yeah. And then he brought a pregnancy test. He didn't bring it, but his brother did. And he was like, take the test. And I was like, okay. Because at the time we weren't trying. Yeah. But at the same time, I wasn't trying. Like, I knew I wasn't ready for kids. And he was consistent about it. He was like very adamant. Like, he was like, no, we have to have kids. And I was like, but we're not financially stable. I don't have, like, I'm not done with school. You're not done with school. So it just happened, qadarullah. Yeah. And I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant. I'm not going to lie, I was pretty upset. Like anybody that's not ready to have kids. Yeah,
because you're in a position where you've already having a difficult time. So now to have a child.
And I didn't want to. Yeah. Exactly. I didn't want to bring a little kid into an environment that was like really, really toxic, really negative, really bad. But I said, it happened. Alhamdulillah. I did have my pregnancy, I'm not going to lie, it's beautiful for a lot of people. Yeah. Some people it might not be, but the whole pregnancy process for me was a heartache. Yeah. Like, it was so, like, it was, oh my God, extremely sad. Yeah. And there was just, I was diagnosed with, what is it called? I can't remember. It's where I know the name. The name is gonna come. No, the name is gonna come to me. But I had like high stress and high blood pressure, so I would constantly be at the doctor's. I would constantly be at the doctor's office because they were trying to bring my stress down, and they also put me on a diet so the baby doesn't go overweight. And I had to. I swear, there's a name for it. I just
preeclampsia.
Huh?
Preeclampsia? Is it where you have like
No, it's not. Okay. I was gestational diabetic. That's what it is. Okay. I had gestational diabetes when I was pregnant. So I had to take my blood
sugar.
I had to check my sugar 4 times a day. And I had to do a little exercise. But every time I went to the office, they're like, the doctor's office, they're like, you need to keep your stress level and your blood pressure low because you seem to be intense all the time. But we were arguing like all the time about little things, and it's just like and then his parents weren't very helpful at times, so I was like, I'm not gonna look at like Ben. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you can speak in Somali. It's cool.
Okay,
you can throw in a few statements.
Then like, I don't want to lie on her. There is times where she did good, but gala we could do in Somali and that Muslim ka. So there was always something behind وهي
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't like that. So I would just like limit my like interactions with her.
Mm.
Then what happened was I met a young Ethiopian woman who was a gynecologist at my office, and she became my nurse.
Mm.
Um, and we like started talking. Then I met her again at the masjid, and it was Ramadan, and I was like, oh my God. Like the first Ramadan I met her,
Mm-hmm.
we just like became complete friends, and she was like, come to the masjid anytime. A lot of the things my ex did was he wouldn't let me communicate with my friends. He made me cut off my friends. He made me, what do you call, not go anywhere with anybody, like always stay at the house.
Wow.
Um, I wouldn't be able to like do anything without him, like his say. He always checked my phone, like I was at a checkpoint or something.
Mm.
And it was just ridiculous. Like, I'm like, and at the time for me, I thought this was okay. It's not okay. Like, for someone to do that consistently, like gaslighting, manipulating,
Yeah.
he did so much manipulation where I said everything was my fault.
Mm.
Like, nothing is your fault. It's always my fault. Like him saying everything like he does is right and I'm wrong. I complained to his parents about how he always treated me like a kid, like he was my dad,
Wow.
and never spoke to me like as a grown up. He would double check things, simple things. Like, for example, you call the gas company and you make a bill, you pay a bill, and then you get the confirmation number and you hang up. He would double check if I made the payment.
Wow.
And I'm like, we didn't pay gas, but this would be for like insurance,
Yeah.
phone. And I'm like, why? Like, he's like, did you talk to them properly? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Excuse me. It'd be little things like that.
Mm. Like, did these signs exist before, like getting married to him? Because sometimes, signs do show where if you get to know someone long enough, they sort of develop, like you can see through people. Because sometimes, like, there's certain people that put up a facade. They have a persona where they showcase like their representative. This is who they are, right? But that's not really their true self. But did you have any signs? Like, did you see any signs that he was gonna be this type of person, or he's capable of becoming this type of person?
The one mistake I made was I met him online, but didn't meet him face to face until we got married. That's one mistake I made.
Okay.
The other mistake I made was I never asked him about friends, like talking to his friends or getting their contacts or getting to know them or his family members. I would ask him questions about his family members, but he would dodge them. And now at the time I didn't like check it, but now that I remember, it like clicked, like why he wouldn't even let me talk to his family members. At the time, when you're in the situation,
when the emotions
like
are
it won't
involved.
click for you.
Yeah,
emotions are involved and your emotions are like very high. It won't click for you. And if you don't talk to somebody like about it, you're gonna end up the same way I did. Like, he was very charismatic, very charming, very straightforward. Like, I would think he wasn't telling a lie. Very talkative, very ambitious.
Exactly
like,
what you wanted.
Like, this is what literally like made me, because I read about this stuff after I left him. I read about guys that were like this, narcissists basically.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know narcissist men existed. That was even a brand new word for me, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I learned about gaslighting, manipulation, guilt tripping, like all these things, these terms I didn't know existed in men and in people. And I was just like, wow, like this is new. And there was one thing that always like repeated itself when we were together in public. He was very charming and he knew how to talk to people whenever we were in public. Like, he was a complete different person behind doors, but when we were in public, like people that met him would think this man like was it. Like, this man has his life together. He's dressed well. He looks great. He probably treats his wife amazing. And this is me just standing there smiling.
Yeah.
Like, hi. Hi. Right. Like, I'm like, y'all people don't even know this man behind closed doors.
Right. Right.
And this is like, I'm observing and I'm just like, wow, like,
Mm.
this is for real, for real. Like, you is a different person
Yeah.
when we're out in public. SubhanAllah.
SubhanAllah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so after
That's
Ismail,
yeah.
my God, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no, go on. Like you were saying, after Ismail.
After Ismail was born,
Yeah.
mashallah, like, I would not go back to anything. Like,
Mm.
after that child was born, well, I was just like, it was just amazing, like a miracle. Like, subhanallah, I was like, damn. Like, unless you go through it, you
Yeah.
won't know.
You don't know
Because I used to
exactly.
talk a lot of crap. I won't say like crap. I'm not like giving birth. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like never having kids and stuff like that. I
Oh.
used to be like, nah, it's not for me. But when they come, it's just like, wow, like your whole life changes. It's subhanallah, it's so different.
Mm. So
But
like the divorce happen like prior to Ismail, or was it after Ismail
it was after Ismail was
born?
born.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, after Ismail was born. Ismail was he was 2 months,
Mm.
and there we had a fight. It was an argument,
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 nights before everything happened.
Mm.
And it was a Sunday, I remember, because the next day was going to be a Monday. And I was just sleeping at the time, because I don't want to like mix up the story.
Yeah.
Before like the fight, the actual fight on Sunday happened.
Mm-hmm.
Previous to that, we were already fighting because of something he did, which was haram. And I found out. So I was like, okay, I'm not getting divorced
Yeah.
because he threatened to keep my kid. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to stay in this
Yeah.
until I have a way out. That's what I told myself. Then his brother, who was a parole officers can't really do much, but they have a lot of resources. His brother told him, and Ilahi Khadirti said, I saw it on his phone. I wasn't supposed to see it, I don't think so, but I did.
Yeah.
His brother was telling him, get her to sign her rights to you so she can get the kid. So you can get the kid.
Wow.
And he has a background where he's like a felon and everything. So it would be harder for him to legally like go through courts
Go through all
and
that.
get a
Yeah.
kid
Yeah.
because of his background and everything.